Good afternoon, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Daily Motion. This is Rich again, back for the second video blog of the day for Saturday, January 24th, 2015, around 3:36 p.m. in Billerica, Massachusetts. It's still snowing outside, maybe an additional 1 to 3 inches, depends where you live. Some news to report: baseball's all-time hit king, Pete Rose, is going to be at the 2015 Major League Baseball All-Star Game in his hometown of Cincinnati, Ohio, at the Great American Ballpark. Pete Rose has been banned from Major League Baseball since 1989, but I think it's time for Pete Rose to be welcomed back into baseball, reinstated, and put in the Hall of Fame. And the NHL has officially announced that the 2016 Winter Classic is going to be at Gillette Stadium, Foxborough, Massachusetts. Boston Bruins against Montreal Canadiens, and also the Stadium Series for 2016. Chicago Blackhawks against Minnesota Wild at Target Field, and at Coors Field will be the Detroit Red Wings against Colorado Avalanche, and also the World Cup of Hockey is returning in 2016 as well. But the NHL did not give a commitment about participating in the 2018 Winter Olympic Games in South Korea. Personally, I don't think they're going to be playing in the next Winter Olympic Games. They don't want to shut down the season again, plus many players could get injured. And that's about it on that. My next subject is my 13th and final review of the Royal Rumble series I've been doing the past 2 weeks. This is the 2000 WWE Royal Rumble I'm reviewing, and the 2000 WWE Royal Rumble took place at the world's most famous arena in Madison Square Garden, and this Royal Rumble had an excellent match. Triple H against Jack for the WWE title in a street fight. Plus, this is a Royal Rumble that The Rock won, and it also had the infamous Miss Royal Rumble bikini contest. And calling the action was good old JR Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler. Before the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, they had the hour kind of special on Heat to hype up the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, and they had the wrestlers drawing numbers to see what entrance they would get into the Royal Rumble. And they had the Mean Street Posse, who was Rodney and Pete Gas and Joey Abs, saying that they were going to be in the Royal Rumble, trying to sneak into the Royal Rumble. They weren't official entrants. And they also had Kaientai as well, who was Funaki, who eventually became SmackDown's #1 announcer, and Taka Michinoku, who used to be the WWE Light Heavyweight Champion. And they did this because, just for comedy for them, they weren't going to be in the Royal Rumble anyway. And this is what happened at the Royal Rumble card for 2000 pay-per-view. And there were no dark matches. The first match on the Royal Rumble pay-per-view card was Kurt Angle against a mystery opponent. Kurt Angle was undefeated in WWE at this point. He was grabbing the mic and talking smack about the New York Knicks and stuff. And then music plays with kind of a hot beat, with heartbeat coming down. And next thing you know, it's former ECW World Champion Taz, and he gets a tremendous pop from the crowd. Taz is from Brooklyn, New York, so that's close by, and Taz was amazing, and he, I think, destroyed Kurt Angle in 3 minutes, and this was the first loss Kurt Angle won. First match Kurt Angle lost in the WWE, and fans were cheering for Taz. I thought Taz was going to get a big push in the WWE, and this is the first big pop for any new wrestler coming into the WWE for a long time. The next match was a elimination tables match between the Hardy Boys, Jeff and Matt Hardy, against the Dudley Boys, Devon and Bubba Ray Dudley. And this was a pretty good match. It was the first elimination. Bubba Ray Dudley was thrown through a table by Matt Hardy, and then a few minutes later, Matt Hardy was thrown through a table by Devon Dudley with help from Bubba Ray Dudley, and the finishing of the match was Jeff Hardy throwing Devon through a table with help from Matt. They knocked out Bubba Ray, and it was famous for like the Senton Bomb. It wasn't called that back then by Jeff, and it was a pretty good tables match. This set the table for a lot of table matches in WWE within the next few years, and the Dudley boys, Devon and Bubba Ray, were famous for saying getting the tables. I'm shocked they lost the tables match at all. And then before the next match, they had the 2000 Miss Royal Rumble swimsuit contest. All the WWE divas were in this, including Jackie and Ivory and Terry and the Cat and BB and Luna Vachon, and then they had Mae Young in it as well, and they showed all the divas in their bikinis. Jerry the King Lawler was hosting it, and they had the judges, Andy Richter, who was famous for being on the Conan and O'Brien show, and they had WWE Hall of Famers, Classy Freddie Blassie and the Fabulous Moolah in it, judging. And then Mae Young comes, and she was grabbing the mic and says, "Everybody wants to see my puppies," and then she takes off her like swimsuit and exposes her puppies, but it was a prosthesis she was wearing. But it was pretty funny. Everybody was going nuts, including Jerry the King Lawler. He looked like he was going to collapse. It was so funny, and the crowd and the judges decided that Mae Young won the Miss 2000 Miss Royal Rumble swimsuit contest, and then they had Mark Henry come down and put a coat over Mae Young. This was just pretty funny and stuff like that. Just comic relief, just to kill off time. I loved it, like with Mae Young and Fabulous Moolah in the WWE at this time. They were just comic follies and stuff like that, kind of like the female equivalent of the Stooges, Gerald Briscoe and Pat Patterson. And I also loved Lala at this time. He was still like a heel announcer. He would make one-liners about Mae Young and the Fabulous Moolah, which was pretty funny. I missed Jerry the King Lawler as a heel announcer. But anyway, the next match was a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. It was co-champions Chyna and Chris Jericho against Bob Holly. Chyna and Chris Jericho were feuding over the Intercontinental title, and they had a match on SmackDown that both Chyna and Chris Jericho pinned each other, and they decided that Chris and Chyna had to co-hold the WWE Intercontinental title, and then Bob Holly got involved, and they had one match on Raw where Chyna was wrestling Bob Holly for the Intercontinental Championship, and then Chris Jericho had to help because he had to keep his half of the title. And this match was pretty good. It was like back and forth, and like there was some tension between Chyna and Chris Jericho, and I thought Bob Holly would somehow sneak a win out of this and win the Intercontinental title, but he didn't. The ending of the match had like Jericho knock out Holly and put the like lion tamer, a kind of a half Boston Crab on Chyna, and Chris Jericho becomes the sole possession of the Intercontinental Championship. Pretty good match, I think. The next match was for the WWE Tag Team Championship. It was the Acolytes, which was Farouk and Bradshaw, against the New Age Outlaws, the Road Dogg Jesse James and the Badass Billy Gunn. Before the match, the Road Dogg Jesse James and Badass Billy Gunn do their usually routine. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Degeneration X proudly presents to you the tag team champions of the world, the Road Dogg Jesse James, the Badass Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaws. If you ain't down with that, you got two words for you: suck it. Love that thing. and this was kind of a quick match and stuff like that. There was interference by X-Pac. The New Age Outlaws beat the Acolytes to retain the title, and the match only went a couple of minutes. That was not a great match. The next match was for the WWE World Championship, and it was Triple H, the reigning champion, with Stephanie McMahon against Cactus Jack in a New York street fight. And this was a great match, over 20 minutes. They were battling back and forth. They were using chairs, weapons, barbed wire baseball, thumbtacks. Ending of this match had Triple H put Cactus Jack in the pedigree, pins him 1, 2, 3, and retains the World Championship. You always would have great matches between Triple H and Cactus Jack and Mankind and Dude Love. I think they had great chemistry together when they faced off against each other, and this was one of the best feuds in the WWE going in the 2000s, I think. And then they have the 2000 WWE Royal Rumble match, and this match was pretty good. They had D'Lo Brown start off, and then they had Rikishi come in and stuff. Rikishi eliminated several wrestlers in a row. They had Too Cool, who was Grandmaster Sexay, and Scotty Too Hotty, and then they were doing their dance routine and stuff like that. And then Rikishi throws both of them over the top rope and stuff like that. Rikishi was dominant in the early part of the Royal Rumble, and they had more wrestlers come in, but then they had Kaientai come in and try to sneak in, but they got thrown out by the wrestlers in the Royal Rumble. I think Taka Michinoku broke his nose in this, and Funaki also was trying to get back and get his revenge on his partner, but he was eliminated as well. Kind of disruption and stuff like that for them, but it was just for comedy feel. Finally, later on in the match, they had the Mean Street Posse come in and try to interfere and try to get involved in the Royal Rumble, but they were thrown out as well. This was just comedy as well. The final two wrestlers in this Royal Rumble were The Rock and the Big Show, and then the Big Show grabbed The Rock and was going to try to throw him over the top rope, but the Rock pulled the Big Show over, and Big Show falls on the ring floor along with The Rock as well, but the Big Show touched both his feet on the floor at first, and that means that The Rock wins the 2000 WWE Royal Rumble, and he gets to face the champion at WrestleMania 16. Very controversial. The Big Show was manning in this, and this was almost like a repeat of the 1994 Royal Rumble finish with Lex Luger and Bret the Hitman Hart. Thank God they did not have co-winners of the 2000 WWE Royal Rumble, because that would have been a rehash storyline. I know a lot of people who know about rehash storylines, and I thought this Royal Rumble was one of the best Royal Rumbles of all time, with solid matches and some comedy stuff like that. So it was a pretty solid Royal Rumble, and this is the end of the Royal Rumble series I will be reviewing on these video blogs. And come WrestleMania season, I'm probably going to review a lot of WrestleManias, and I'll be back later on today with my third and final video blog of the night, which will be about the Green Bay Packers dynasty in the 1960s, which coincides with the Super Bowl dynasty teams and that. And don't forget, Facebook friends and YouTube followers, coming soon to these video blogs. In February, a lot of personality profiles about famous African American people in honor of Black History Month. There's going to be definitely ones about Steve Harvey, actor, comedian, host of Family Feud, host of his own talk show, The Godfather, former WWE superstar. Get on now. Oh, train! I'm going to probably talk about the Bodyguard Virgil, and Hank Aaron, and Ernie Banks, and Jackie Robinson, and Barry Bonds, and Lawrence Taylor, and Andre Tippett, and Doc Rivers, and Kevin Garnett, and others. See you later, Facebook, YouTube, Daily Motion, and Twitter. Bye now.